Many of us start the day already under siege. Before you've even left your bed, the weight of a mortgage, a strained relationship, or the clutter of the digital world can feel like an environmental threat. This was Elara's baseline. She was navigating the simultaneous loss of her job and a daunting health diagnosis, a combination that made her feel as exposed as a lamb in a forest of predators. In the middle of this crisis, she recalled a parable from her grandfather. It told of a lost lamb that encountered a fox but did not flee. Instead, the lamb found a massive, fresh footprint of a lion and stood firmly within it, meeting the fox's gaze with the borrowed authority of the king. The schematic of this survival strategy is simple. The lamb didn't need to become a lion to be safe. It merely had to align itself with the lion's mark. The predators were repelled by the presence the footprint represented, rather than the lamb itself. This suggests that courage can be accessed through a specific daily architecture, a way of tuning your focus toward a source of strength that exists outside your own immediate limitations. Elara began her transformation by cordoning off the first hour of her morning. She kept her phone out of reach, choosing to focus on a period of spiritual grounding before the world could demand her attention. She utilized the act of recalling. This is the deliberate practice of documenting past moments of survival and unexpected support to build a mountain of evidence against current despair. Elara's journal listed 3 specific markers: a near-miss car accident, an unexpected check that arrived during her student years, and the community support her mother received during an illness. These aren't just memories. They are data points on a timeline of continuous survival. By physically writing these down, she provided her nervous system with an empirical baseline of trust. The logic was clear. If help had been present during every previous crisis, there was no reason to assume it had vanished now. That baseline was tested by the midday friction of her life. During a high-stakes call with a skeptical creditor, Elara felt the familiar surge of defensive anger. To prevent an ego-driven reaction, she employed the 3-second rule. She paused, counted to 3, and took an intentional breath. This simple defense mechanism creates space between a provocation and a response. This delay allowed her to respond with a measured clarity, leaving the creditor cooperative, not combative. When internal whispers said she would fail, she used a mental cancel command to interrupt the negative thought loop. She then immediately replaced the image of failure with a memory of a blessing, overriding chaotic patterns with structured, positive ones. These midday tools changed the power dynamic of her day. She was no longer a passive recipient of her environment. She was exercising intentional control over her internal state. The final test arrived in the sterile atmosphere of a hospital corridor. Elara was there for the follow-up appointment that would determine her path forward. Instead of falling into the standard pattern of desperate pleading, Elara practiced Resolute Prayer. This shifted her stance from one of deficit to one of quiet expectation. She approached the moment as a conversation with a friend, claiming the strength she had spent the day visualizing rather than asking for the impossible. When the doctor reviewed her results, the change was visible. The inflammation in her body had receded far faster than the medical team's original projections. For Elara, this physical shift was the culmination of her daily practice. By choosing to stand in the metaphorical lion's footprint all day, she had maintained a state of calm that supported her recovery. As evening fell, Elara engaged in one final act of reflection. She sat by her window to process the day before going to sleep. She systematically replaced any lingering worries by writing down 5 micro-moments of success: the taste of her tea, a victory in a difficult conversation, and the doctor's news. This anchored the end of her day in gratitude rather than rumination. The forest Elara lived in was still dense, and the predators of the modern world had not disappeared. She remained a person with real challenges and human vulnerabilities. However, her experience had changed because she changed her point of reference. She was no longer looking for threats. She was looking for the footprints of a power greater than her own. Resilience is a matter of where you choose to stand. When you stop obsessing over the predators and start looking at the markers of grace, the world is no longer a place of fear. It is a place of wonder.